Sorry, that first video got cut off there, so I'm just going to pick right up where I left off. I was mentioning how the agency's form that I pulled up, the Wendy Crawford LPC practice, I was mentioning how it was surprising to me that they did not have anywhere on there talking about her qualifications really. It mentions her degree, that she is an LPC and MS, but it doesn't go into more detail about the qualifications, credentials, and relevant experience that she has, which is on the ACA recommendations form. So I assumed that would be on there more. And it doesn't really go into the techniques and procedures very much at all either, which was surprising. Again, it only talks about vaguely the possible risk and the possible benefits. The risks are just simple, uncomfortable feelings such as sadness, guilt, anxiety, anger, those, and the benefits, significant reduction in the feeling of distress, better relationships, better problem solving, coping skills, etc. And they don't really go into detail about what that is. They don't go into detail much about that psychotherapy in particular. So that was surprising to me as well. There's lots of examples of how this form differs from the ACA recommendations. It doesn't talk much about tests and reports. It doesn't talk much on the information of records. It does mention it, but it doesn't talk about it much. And it doesn't talk much about the refusal of the services as well. All in all, my reaction to this form is that it's very vague. I personally would give my clients a way more descriptive form. I think this is very vague and it doesn't give them all the information they need to have. And I think that's very important, especially a lot of these things. Like I feel like a client would like to know the qualifications, credentials, relevant experience. They'd like to know more into the techniques and procedures, more about the purposes and goals other than vague sadness and guilt, risk, like that. I feel like they need to know more than that. More information on the use of tests and reports. The form does mention that some insurance will like a clinical diagnosis, so that might have to go into some tests and things like that, but it doesn't go into more detail. And I think that it's important to go into more detail so the client knows everything and there's no gray area for them to wonder in case there is any legal issues there. So that is my interpretation of all three of those different forms in references describing the informed consent. And my main question for my peers and my instructor is, how do you know how much information to put on the form and what specific information is extremely important? Obviously, the ACA recommendations give the whole entire list of what should be on there, but like I mentioned, this form was very vague. So where is a good middle ground, I guess, where it's not too overwhelming for the client, but it is more detailed than the form that I found. Look forward to hearing all of your answers. Thank you.